muckers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best day ever. I've just had my Red Bull, which means I'm in a great mood. I'm also filming this at midnight, so that's whenever you get my most chaotic thoughts. But basically, today has been an absolute mess online. Whenever I woke up, I saw Ethan Klein trending on Twitter, which is never, never a good sign. And I clicked on it, not necessarily knowing, what he was trending for today. With Ethan, he does trend quite a lot on Twitter. There are so many different reasons for that, whether it is Trisha, whether it's Moses, whether it's some things on Reddit, maybe it's Joe Rogan, maybe it's Ryan Kavanaugh, maybe it's a new lawsuit. There is just, so many things that keep us guessing when it comes to, not Ryan Kavanaugh, fuck me, he's like infiltrating my thoughts. Oh, I'm next on the lawsuit when it comes to Ethan trending on Twitter. But for this time, it was because he did a tweet about Joe Rogan and Twitter has absolutely erupted on him. And it goes without saying, but also Keemstar's involved too because he's now attacking Ethan. But I mean, I didn't really feel the need to say that because that's basically just like a random Tuesday, you know what I mean? Like, I'm filming this on a Tuesday, like, that could happen any day of the week, it's not really news. But yes, Keemstar's involved too. And now, Dennis did a really good job at compiling this all together because there are just so many different tweets on this. So, I'm going to go through them with you and we're going to have our say, but basically, it's getting incredibly messy online. So basically, it says, Ethan Klein calls out Joe Rogan for spreading COVID vaccine misinformation and conservatives. I was going to say conservatorships. I just filmed a Britney Spears video before this. Conservatives, not conservators. And conservatives have a meltdown. I literally just filmed a Britney video before this and I was saying conservatorship like 10 times over and over and over again. So that is coming into my thoughts as well. So basically we have this news article and it says, right here, I'm just going to read it out to you. YouTube takes down anti-vax Joe Rogan interview with Dr. Robert Malone, which likened vaccines to what they're not. And it says, while the controversial episode remains on Spotify, YouTube has removed it on their channel because YouTube are very strict on misinformation and mass conspiring, if that's the right word to use here. They have a real big problem with that. So it was taken down from there, but because it's an episode that can be uploaded on any platform, it's staying on Spotify. And Ethan had something to say about it on Twitter. So Ethan tweeted out the following. He said, right here, Joe Rogan, who lives on elk meat, egg yolk, and human growth hormone with lungs full of tar, thinks he's healthier than everyone. This motherfucker is such a bitch that when he got COVID, he threw the kitchen sink at it. If you're so healthy, just write it out like the man you say you are, is what Ethan had to say. And then he goes on to tweet the following. Ethan does. Dude has caused so much vaccine hesitancy and misinformation, and he doesn't even have the balls to stand by the shit that he continues to preach. Now he's on his show talking about how fat people should just, when it comes to COVID, I can't fucking talk. I literally cannot talk today. Dude, not douche. Douche is a gay terminology. Oh my fucking god. Me at the start of this video, I'm filming this at midnight and you're getting my most chaotic thoughts. No, you're not getting any of my thoughts. Nothing's coming out of here. Fuck me. Alright, so so now he's on a show saying how people should of COVID because he's such a piece of shit. Instead of getting vaccinated, he takes Regeneron, an experimental drug that was developed alongside mRNA vaccines. His logic makes absolutely no sense. And then he credits ivermectin, which does nothing for COVID. Not to mention whatever the fuck is in the alpha brain that he has. Meanwhile, while Joe is on his big pharma conspiracy against vaccines, someone needs to ask him who makes, these things that he's taking and all of the other shit that he took whenever he had COVID. And then we have someone has quoted Ethan's tweet here called Lauren Southern, and she said the following. Absolutely unnecessary level of personal anger towards a random podcast host who is obviously extremely healthy for his age. Ethan, you are so odd. So a verified account. And then we have absolutely more verified accounts coming for Ethan. Another one quoted his tweet and said, And this one has the American flag in their icon, so it can only mean great thoughts are coming. It's just from an outsider's point of view, honestly. Says, the narrative has gone overnight from Joe Rogan is irrelevant ever since he went on Spotify to Joe Rogan is causing genocide by explaining what medications he took that successfully allowed him to beat COVID in record time. Oh my god, with these alpha males, it's always they have to do everything so quick or they have to do it better than the ordinary person. And the fact that they're like, broke it in record time, it's like, who are you preaching to? So then we have another person saying he hangs out with Hassan once and this is what happens, basically calling Ethan out for his opinion here. And then someone called Lauren has tweeted and said, huge misrepresentation of Joe Rogan aside, Ethan Klein is in no position to lecture anyone on health or being a man. And her tweet got like 10,000 likes, so a lot of people were in agreement of it. And then we have a lot of people just turning to like body shaming Ethan. And that's exactly what Keemstar does as well. In a second, I'll show you. But someone has said, you, 36, versus Joe Rogan at 54. Whose health should you hold into question? Again, this is not what Ethan's tweet was about. And I'm going to pull up what Keemstar had to say here. Ethan's tweet was basically about the fact that Joe Rogan keeps on giving out misinformation about COVID. Not necessarily ever about his weight. He was talking about the fact of him preaching how healthy he is. And the fucking grouping together that if you are what people perceive as overweight, that you are extremely unhealthy, or if someone is in great shape, that they're extremely healthy, is not a healthy mindset to have, because you can have people at either side of that very healthy and people at either side not healthy at all. So to generalize it and now this turning into one big like takedown campaign of Ethan being like overweight as what they're saying is so fucking bizarre to me, because that's not even what Ethan's original tweets were about. Again, I'll read out his tweets in a second. His standpoint, I don't know if we're all in agreement over this, but the way I read them initially whenever I woke up was, oh, he's talking about the fact that Joe Rogan continuously is pushing out like external methods of dealing with COVID, or external methods on how everyone else should be dealing with it, and just causing mass confusion to his already audience about what to do whenever you catch this. That's what I took from it, but now everyone is literally taking this on Ethan. So Keemstar tweeted out Ethan's tweets and said, Ethan Klein questions if Joe Rogan is healthy. Ethan Klein at age 36 and Joe Rogan at 54. So he's included Ethan's original tweet and then this picture of Ethan and then this picture of Joe Rogan. So again, even Keemstar is now turning this, of course he is, he's turning it into Ethan, from their standpoint, being unhealthy. And this is why, with these kind of people, you can never get through to them, because if someone's making a valid point about someone spreading misinformation to the masses, it'll... Hello? Hello, I didn't even see you pop up there. Hi. It just turns into this. It always turns into a distraction, which is what it has done now, because Ethan was trending, not because of his tweets today. Ethan was just trending because of people body shaming him. Because people are like, he body shamed Joe Rogan, whenever Ethan's tweets are literally about Joe Rogan giving out misinformation about COVID. Are we seeing this here? So then, Keemstar goes on to tweet, why are Ethan Klein / H3H3 fans claiming I'm fat shaming Ethan? I didn't mention his weight at all, but you all did. I think you're a horrible person for doing it. It's 2022, grow up. So again, he thinks he's funny by tweeting this out and then being like, I don't know why people are associating I'm talking about him being overweight, whenever his tweets are literally pointing out, if at a bare minimum, comparing both of their bodies. Like, Keemstar does this all the time, where he does something and, like, with obvious intent, and then whenever people, like, point out the obvious intent, whenever he gets called out for it, he tries to act so high and above it, and he's always done this, and it never once was funny, and it's not even, like, a quirky kind of funny. But anyway, he goes on to tweet the following. So, Keemstar now says, fat people are more at risk of COVID, according to every expert I've ever heard on the subject. What kind of alternative reality are we living in that H3H3 fans are suggesting that it's not true? And again, he has literally just tweeted out this picture of Ethan. So again, Keemstar is now doing what everyone else is doing, which is the reason that Ethan's trending today, which is people literally taking his tweets at face value, talking about healthy, and being like, we perceive you as overweight, so shut the fuck up. Are we getting this here? Literally all the tweets. Like if I was to type in Ethan now, like literally just Ethan, right? The following tweets come up. One about his weight. Ethan Klein questioning anyone's physical condition is like me questioning anyone's physical condition. So they're just like comparison about like that he's stupid for doing it. Now again, we will read out Ethan's tweets. And if you have a completely different like take on his tweets, then I'm very open to hearing that. But again, I can only be honest with you. The way I read these tweets was him speaking from a standpoint of misinformation. So again, his tweets, oh my gosh. So anyway, Ethan has gone on to tweet the following. Joe Rogan, a steroid pinata whose gut is so swollen from human growth hormone, lectures people on health. So now Ethan is going from it the standpoint of what people are coming at him for it, whenever that was never his original take on it. And then he said, you say I'm unhealthy, yet Joe Rogan, adjusted for outfit, has the same body as me. So Ethan has tweeted out the picture that Keemstar and everyone has tweeted out of him, and he's basically just put the outfit on Joe Rogan. And he's like, so you're now calling me out for my weight, but if you compare, me and Joe Rogan are the same weight. So again, I really, from either party, do not care about the weight conversation. I really, really, really don't. But he has gone on to tweet the following. Ethan said, Joe Rogan on Joe Rogan. So as if Joe Rogan is talking about himself. And it's a quote, and it says, with picture of Joe Rogan talking, everyone should be called out on their bullshit. Because when we say ridiculous shit, someone's supposed to go, bitch, what? And if no one says, bitch, what? When you say ridiculous shit, you're hanging around the wrong kind of people. So again, he's openly bringing the conversation back to the point that he's calling Joe Rogan out for saying dumb shit. Now again, I want to know what you take from Ethan's tweets. If you're taking it from the same standpoint that I am, or if you're taking it from the standpoint of everyone else who has now turned this into a weight conversation. So Ethan's tweets, Joe Rogan, who lives on elk meat, egg yolk, and human growth hormone, who with lungs full of tar, thinks he's healthier than everyone else. This motherfucker is such a bitch that when he got COVID, he threw the kitchen sink at it. If you're so healthy, just say that you'll write it out like everyone else will and be a man. So again, even that first tweet is literally just putting it in the face of what Joe Rogan says about him being the man, the strong man. And it's like him just comparing his lifestyle choices rather than his weight. But people aren't comparing Ethan's lifestyle choices. They're just comparing his weight. Are we seeing the difference here? Ethan never... You get it. Literally, Ethan never made it a conversation about weight. He made it a conversation about lifestyle. But now Ethan's name is trending with 30,000 tweets because people are talking about Ethan's weight rather than his lifestyle. All right, dude has caused so much vaccine hesitance and misinformation, and he doesn't even have the balls to stand by the shit that he preaches. Now he's on his show talking about how fat people should just of COVID. Dude is such a piece of shit. Instead of getting vaccinated, he takes Regeneron, an experimental whatever that has been developed alongside mRNA vaccines. His logic makes no sense, and then he credits other things instead of the vaccine, which does nothing for COVID. Not to mention whatever is in his alpha brain. Meanwhile, while Joe is on the big pharma conspiracy against vaccines, someone needs to ask him who makes the things that he's taking and all the other shit that he took while he was on COVID. All right. So again, my final take on this, Ethan's talking about lifestyle. His lifestyle choices, how he did everything against what he's supposed to whenever he got COVID, not Ethan, Joe Rogan, and the fact that he's not staying consistent in how he recovered from it and is crediting some things for his quick recovery that he took whenever it was clearly him also getting the vaccine. It's just so messy, but I really want to know your opinion on it and where you stand on it. So please let me know below. It is so messy. We'll talk about it. I appreciate you being here and I appreciate your time. And thank you for hanging out with me. And I'll see you in my next one. And bye. Mwah. What a mess. Fucking hell.